Hey everyone, today we are going to talk about the new heroes, their skills leaks and their potential metas in the season 14 and how they might shift some heroes up and some heroes down. Firstly, I'm going to go over the most interesting hero in my opinion, which is Eve. So Eve is a Mystifier, Celestial and a Phantom hero. We already have a Phantom Mystifiers such as Tiamat, Franz and Minotaur. They're already quite good to be paired, so Tiamat and Eve are definitely going to go into the same team, especially because Tiamat enhances the skills of Eve by increasing the corrode limit. Therefore, they're synergy matches, they're synergy in terms of skill matches, and they're pretty much a good pair nonetheless. So let's go over the Eve, the first human skills. So her class is going to be Warrior, we don't care about that. The synergies Mystifier, Royal, Celestial, and Phantom. And then her ultimate is Bloom of Desire, which deals physical damage to 3 random enemies and applies 1 stock of corrode. This is amazing because every Mystifier that applies corrode is actually valuable because there's not many Mystifiers that apply corrode because the most newest heroes don't really do that. Ascended Bastet only applies 1 stack of corrode and Tsukuyomi doesn't at all, she only doubles it with her runes, neither does the Tiamat, so getting a hero that applies stack on their own is already good, because usually that stack will get doubled or even tripled by some other heroes. Overall it will be enhanced. Her active skill is physical damage to all enemies and applies 1 stack of corrode, so her active skill is far better than her ultimate because her active skill applies 5 stacks of corrode, whereas the ultimate is only 3 stacks, being the 3 hits and this being the 5 hits. So her active skill is actually a better than ultimate. This is quite common, not a lot of heroes, but there's plenty of heroes that have better active skills than ultimates, and Eve is one of them. Now let's go over her passive. So in Famous Sin, Eve casts an additional ultimate for every 10 stacks of corrode applied by allies, reduced to 5 stacks at 8 stars. This means she will cast 5 to 10 or even 15 ultimates if it's not limited. So she has, I managed myself to get 300 corrodes in PvE in Palace of Penrose once. So she's definitely a potential to spam insane amount of ultimates, that means even more than Pandora. Issue is she doesn't have scaling close to Pandora, but it should be close in terms of damage. So this skill alone is already amazing. We have multi-action mystifiers such as Astrid, allowing a second casting hero to cast ultimate once more. We have Gaia that doubles her action with her runes. We have Tsuki that doubles her action with her Oath Force. And now we have the Eve. So Eve is the best multi-action mystifier by far, it's not even close. And she will definitely have a slot in the main teams. She's not strictly limited to mystifiers. That's the best part about her kit. She will work even at 6 stars, that's for sure, but at 8 stars she becomes twice as more reliable and twice as more ultimate casting and doesn't require as many corrodes. Issue with corrodes is they get cleared easily. There's relics such as Vanquisher, such as the Scepter. There's also the Royal Synergy that cleanses the corrode stacks. There's Arthur that reflects them, etc. There's a lot of heroes that can pretty much clear the corrodes. So this will be insane in PvE, because in PvE you pretty much can't get cleared of corrodes, but in PvP it's quite common to clear them. So in PvP this might be a little bit limiting once the hero started dying, but up until then she will cast ultimates a lot. Now let's go over the second skill, the Forbidden Fruit. So allied attacks deal extra damage to targets with corrodes, 25% of base damage at 7 star and 50% at 9 star. This is going to be insane in the things such as Rift Odyssey. If you miss some damage in any PvE pretty much, this is going to replace Gaia, I do believe, although Gaia's damage increase is also pretty much insane, but I do believe that with Eve's actions and with her runes and with her Oath Force, this is going to be better than Gaia herself. Although a bit more expensive, Gaia only needs 6 stars to do her things, but this one might need 9 stars, but it will be, in my opinion, in theory, far more better than what Gaia brings. So in PvP this won't do anything, so don't expect this to be game changer in PvP. In PvP the damage is so insane, although now we are getting Synergy 8, so going from 7 to 8, and the heroes are already tanky enough, and so the damage might be actually needed once again, because even now a lot of my fights go to the overtime and to the round 15. So additional damage is not going to hurt this, especially against 8 synergies. So let's go over to the next skill, but as I said, she has a lot of potential in PvE and will be insane in PvP as well, especially in Phantoms, and I will go talk about that in her runes. So her Oath Force. When average corrode stacks of enemies exceed 10 to 15, allies gain additional strikes up to 3 times at 12 stars. In PvP and GVG modes, guild against guild not being tournament, it's not tournaments, it's just the tiles in the clash pretty much. Allies gain shield based on the percentage of corrode damage when enemies take damage from the effect. So enemies take damage only at the beginning of the round, so this will give you shield at round 0, round 1, round 2, round 3, etc. Every round you will gain shield if there's a corrode to deal damage to them, if not, nothing happens. It's nothing game changing, nobody really cares about shields, because shields are quite easy to disrupt and quite easy to be destroyed, especially with Planar Gate now with Seraphina and other heroes, even Venus I believe, still shields, so it's not really something to look forward to. It's a nice effect, but it won't be game changer for the Mystifiers. Unless the shield is unstealable, then it might have some insane potential, but until we see it, it's nothing to be expected, and just consider it as a nice effect. The main thing is when average corrode stacks on enemies exceed 10 to 15, allies gain additional strikes up to 3 times at 12 stars. This means, imagine you have Pandora with this hero, she will strike 3 more times, that's 3 times faster to stack her Oath Force, that's 3 times faster to stack her skill, the second passive skill that scales every skill she does up to 2000%. It's going to be definitely insane, especially in the Rift Odyssey. Imagine Arcane Dorabella or even Eudora. Imagine Eudora casting her ultimate 4 times in a row. This is going to be absolutely game changer for these heroes. An absolute massive boost to the DPS heroes in theory. Obviously this is all just a theory talk. So first, before summoning, I always say wait for the actual tests and wait for me to tell you if you should summon, if the hero is worthy of your time, if the hero is worthy of the diamonds you have saved and the oaths. If not, feel free to skip it, or if you like the design, feel free to pull on the hero. Never assume from these theory videos to pull unless I said in the actual testing video, so wait for the test videos before pulling. To go back to the topic, yes, I do believe that Eve is going to be absolute game changer in the PvE. With her additional 3 strikes in PvE, you will always have more than 15 corrodes, that's given, and you will always have her casting her ultimates. So it's definitely one of the stronger effects we have had, especially from a Mystifier since Gaia came out. One of the better boosters, gives allies actions and gives allies a chance to apply corrode on her runes. So let's go over her most broken thing, which I do believe is her runes. So rune effect is applies 2 to 5, that's basically from going epic to 2 to legendary. Additional stacks of corrode after allies deal damage. So if enemies have shields or holy shields, this will not apply corrode in theory, but maybe it will. We don't know how it's coded exactly, but if it does work even through the shields and holy shields, it will be too strong, but if it doesn't, it will be quite balanced. So the way this works is she's the first Mystifier hero that allows other allies to actually stack corrode. This makes her viable in any team and then not just in Mystifiers, which is going to be crazy because, as we said in the beginning, she's a Phantom. She can feed the Phantom Avengers. Because Narissa spams her ultimate, she will apply tons of corrode stacks. With her in the team, she will ult 3 more times and deal additional damage to the corroded enemies. She has an insane potential place in the Phantom based teams, even Avengers, or even we could make something like Mystifier Phantoms with her, with Phantom Mystifiers in her. So in PvE she will fit any team in theory because she has a chance to give allies. Imagine Pandora ulting 10 times and applying 5 stacks of corrode, so 50 stacks of corrode just from Pandora in a single round. It's definitely going to be a game changer. And then on top of that, she has each stack of corrode increases the attack, defense and max HP of all allies by 10 to 20%, which is also insane stat. For Rift Odyssey, insane stats for the PvP, brings a lot of survival to the teams, and everything around her screams to be broken hero in theory. and one of the best Mystifiers to be released by far. And we have to see how she exactly is coded, but in theory this is an amazing hero. She brings everything that, so allowing the hero to stack the corrode, allowing the hero to scale up with her runes. Basically her runes are definitely going to be worth the money if they are coded correctly. And then her skill of additional 3 actions at 12 stars is going to be insane. The skill of additional damage increase in PvE is going to be insane. And her ultimates cast are nice, but they're not going to be game changer unless she becomes one of the main DPS, which I doubt. She's going to be more like Marina in my opinion. So great in PvP, but not as great in PvE because the other heroes such as Eudora, Arcane Dorabella and Pandora will outshine her there, and she will be just a buffer. You can also add Synergies and Ayushta on top of this, and yeah, the magic will simply happen, the actions will go over the roofs, and no Rift Odyssey boss will be able to survive that unless they make them limited to some game-changing mechanics. But up until then, the Eve seems to be the most broken of the season to me personally, and I will be summoning a lot on her, and I'm hoping she's the first hero to be released.